Raising children in the digital age, and as they are called digital natives, can become very tricky. With the evolution of technology and the agility that technology has taken, it requires us to have rapidness in changing our mindsets on how we raise our children. One of the most common questions that we've gotten from parents and guardians, also educators, has been to create specific content around age-appropriate online safety tips. So today we are going to be having this conversation on the different stages of children that we have and engaging them on the appropriateness on how to keep them safe on the internet space. Getting right into it, children under 5, I know they can become very emotional. They are all over the place. And as parents, we need to be able to do very many other things during the day. So technology becomes a very critical tool to keep them calm, to babysit them, to entertain them and engage them in different ways. One of the things that we really emphasize on is creating the time to start engaging them with technology. If you can do spans of 30 minutes with breaks, that would be good. But try as much as possible not to create or give them overstimulating content. So it has to be something that is really soothing them. You can give them content that is educational, not overstimulated. That would really be good. One of our core things is to be able to have value-based content alignment. So look for content that aligns with your values, then make sure that it is not overstimulating your child. Remember, this is the age of monkey see, monkey do. So if we get to engage content that is not good for them, they will mimic that through their character, through their conversations, and through the things that they do. Then there is this sweet stage of age 6 to 10. And this is where we need to start as parents and guardians trying to categorize the types of screen time. So your child will be online doing different kind of things and engaging in different platforms, also different things. So if we can now first sit down and understand that we need to have learning screen time, gaming screen time, entertainment screen time, we are able to appropriately support their online experiences. In this sense, create the learning platforms and learn the time to give them access to those platforms. Get to know exactly what they're learning, how they're engaging with those platforms, then allow them to immerse themselves into a learning platform. That should ideally be the chunk of their screen time, if possible. And then when they're gaming, it is a way of social interaction. You can imagine when we are in a rainy season and children are not able to go outside, the community that they engage with a lot is through the gaming platforms that they have. And this sweet stage, they have a lot of triggers when they're playing games. Just recently in a training that we had, some of the things that they were telling us this particular age is they feel angry, and they were using the choice word of anger. When, for instance, electricity goes when they're in the middle of the game. When they use a game, there's a certain emotion that is triggered. When the internet is lagging, for instance, there are certain things that happen when they're in these spaces of gaming, and that is a lot of interaction for them. However, there's also that one-way interaction where your child is just on YouTube or they're binging on Netflix. If that can be pushed towards the end of the day, that is the best time to give them entertainment screen time, because at least they have done something constructive with themselves. If they're at home or during the school season over the weekend, let them have breaks where they interact physically with people or go outside and have some engagement with themselves. At this particular time and stage of age 6 to 10, we need to start introducing certain concepts. One, the concept of privacy, where parents need to start engaging their children on how much is too much information to give. You can express yourself in certain ways, but you cannot share information about where you live, for instance, where you go to school. You cannot share phone numbers of your parents, any information that can identify you or your family and put you into harm's way. As parents, it is our responsibility at this point to understand that supervision and guidance is placed on us. That is our duty of care. We need to be able to know the games they're playing, what is required of us, what are the security settings that have been put, so that we can make sure that we utilize them. Additionally to this, if you look at the different platforms or the different machines that your children are accessing internet through, you will find like if your child is using a Microsoft-based system, there is the family setting that you can put within the system to guide you on how to manage the screen time between a certain time to a certain time. You can filter the content that you do not want your children to watch. And we will actually place this kind of screenshots on this particular webinar so that you're able to see where to go to create some of these safeguards for your child. At this particular age, you cannot expect to tell your child, after 1 hour, please stop. You have to guide them, you have to supervise them, but also have that conversation that we need to take constant breaks so that we are engaging with the different aspects of our lives. Also, at this particular time, keep building on the conversation around the kind of people they are interacting with, because this is a space where, especially in gaming, they will interact with the different people. So we need to be able to be very cautious on who they call friends and how they acquire these friends and what kind of information they're giving. This is a very good stage to lay the foundations of values, and every family has its own set of values. So this is the stage to hammer it in, so that as they continue growing and being exposed to different platforms, they are anchored on something that is very firm. You can keep changing the rules, but the values keep them strong as they keep developing and growing in the stage. We need to also have discussions on guiding them on the different types of online drama. Online drama is huge, but I know we always single out cyberbullying, but I think it's because as Kenyans, that is not something that we are really keen to celebrate, but we are labeled as global bullies on the internet space. There's something called trolling, and if your child is really a gamer, you will hear them use the word roasting. And sometimes they use it very casually, because they'll be like, I was just roasting my friend because this and this happened on the game. But that can actually escalate to trolling and eventually cyberbullying that has a lot of impact on their physical and also mental well-being. So we need as parents to start understanding that it's like an onion we're peeling, and helping them understand on the internet space, there's certain things that you will come across. And when we are categorizing things like cyberbullying, they fall under the category of online drama. So we need to start helping them to support their mental well-being. And in this process, because it's an everyday conversation, encourage your child, if they feel triggered by something that has happened on any platform, to pause, to stop, to get out and try and de-escalate any situation that is happening within the platform, so that it does not create a life of its own that will have very many casualties along the way. At this particular point, we are teaching children how to understand their feelings, to know how to identify, help them to learn how to name how they're feeling. I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm feeling irritated. And when these things start coming up, you are trying to de-escalate the incident from the online space to the offline space, so that they can start calming down and know the best way to create resilience when they're interacting with other people, either physically or on the online space. So as adults, one of the other things that we need to build for ourselves is the skill of helping our children to de-escalate. So are you de-escalating your issues? Are you de-escalating your incidences? And when you're not at home, are you empowering your child to understand there is a number called 116, which is the child helpline, that they can call and ask somebody for help when they have a red flag feeling when they're interacting in a certain platform? These are just tips for this age of between 6 and 10. Then we skip to a sweet stage of the preteens, as I call them, the curious Georges. And this is a very interesting space where our children find themselves. And as adults, we were once in that space. Maybe it was a different era, it was a different time, different experiences, but we were once in the stage where we pushed boundaries. We were told not to go to certain spaces, but we always wanted to find out, why am I being told not to go to this space? So our children age between 11 and 13, there's a lot of reaffirming, reassuring, and reinforcing of the rules that you have already set, reminding them of the values that you hold as a family, helping them to create their own individual values, but affirming and reinforcing boundaries. And one of the things that I found very critical and helpful for us parents to give our children is the art of learning how to make friends. Because they are just about to go into the teenage space where they are learning themselves, they're creating friendships, they have identities to form. So it is fully blown between age 11 and 13. Let's have open conversations so that you're not feeling like you're bombarding them with too many rules, but keep giving them case scenarios, keep giving them ideas. If you have stories to share with them, be vulnerable about your own experiences when you are growing up. But remember, when we are raising these digital natives, there is this propensity of having information overload. So when you realize your child is getting a little stressed, overwhelmed with the information, again, try to de-escalate it and help them take chewable bites so that they can be able to understand and implement the kind of safeguardings you're putting. You realize they graduated from playing babyish games. They do not want to be called babies anymore. If your child was, say, on YouTube Kids, they want to go onto the other YouTube because they're really migrating. They're feeling like they're being promoted in a sense. So if it is a gaming platform, they want to explore every setting, every feature that that game has. And this is the stage where they will realize they can chat with each other. And I want you to just think about a platform like Discord, where children will get into a community of gamers. And in this community of gamers, they can chat they can share, they can create, and they can also consume. In essence, they're also being introduced to the world of social media. So at this point, what we really need to start having conversations on is reinforcing the boundaries, but also helping them now to start seeing certain responsibilities that they need to have so that they can continue enforcing their safeguards and they can continue ensuring that their online safety and well-being is being promoted in every interaction they have. At this point, as parents and guardians, one of the things that I keep saying, and I will use this word repeatedly, is our work is to support their online experiences, because we want to make sure that they understand what responsibilities they have when they're in each platform that they're using. Keep helping them to grow their friendships. But one of the things that we need to realize at this age, because they're pushing the boundaries, please be keen to listen to them. Do not dismiss what they're saying. You need to seek to understand them so that they can understand where you're coming from and what you're trying to put to protect their well-being. I don't know how your teenage life was. Mine was filled with curiosity, but also a lot of confusion, because so many things were happening to me that I didn't know first how to elaborate them, how to explain them, and how to deal with them. Our children who are teenagers right now have a different world where there's a lot of information. They have gadgets on their hands, different types of gadgets. And when they feel like their parents are not being outwardly open or they're mincing their information, they have a space to go and bounce ideas and get either similar information or contrary information. The social media is their new way of life, and culture has really changed. If you think about the COVID season, our children's playground has really shifted from being totally physical to being hybrid. And so they want to interact more. And even when the sun goes down, they still have the luxury of continuing the conversations that they were having with their friends on the internet. So it will be in their bedroom. They will carry their phones to the toilet. Everybody in the house will have a screen of their own, and the TV has now lost its popularity. In my days, the TV was the one thing that we used to fight for. It's not the case anymore. So in this space, when you're raising a teenager, there needs to be a lot of mind shift from us. And I say that with a lot of love. It's from us, because we need to now understand that our children have choice that we cannot control. And so in this space, we need first to understand when our children are getting onto certain social media platforms, it is your responsibility to be as curious as possible. You're the curious judge now. Be curious on the platform that your child wants to get into. Ask them why they prefer to be on one platform than the other. If possible, take it slow. Can we create one platform, get to understand it, then get onto another platform, bit by bit, understanding what is required of us. As a parent, I need to understand what is required of me to support my child's online experience, but also pushing the responsibility to the child to understand what is required of them when they're on those social media platforms. We need to understand the different platforms that our children are interested in, going a step at a time. If possible, here are the tips that can guide you in this process. If your child wants to be on a certain social media platform, let's take one platform at a time. Let's rush to check what privacy settings and policies are embedded in each platform. And then every platform I know, which is a social media platform, has something called community guidelines. And that is where we are told our responsibilities on being on those platforms. It is our part to tell our children, I'm giving you this opportunity to be on this platform. We are going to put our right ages so that we have the parameters of guidance and safety. We also have to be guided by the community guidance so that certain things are not pulled down because we violated the rules of being on the platform. But also as parents, we need to start setting our children up to taking responsibility of them being on these platforms. In addition to just putting the safeguards, have conversations, continuous conversations on if your child is just consuming content and they get to a point where they want to create content, what kind of content are they creating? And this will start giving you the opening to have conversations about their digital footprint. Because one of the things we need to continuously repeat to our children is that the internet never forgets. Even with things they put on their stories and think it is just there for 24 hours. Somebody has taken a screenshot, somebody has downloaded it, and these things can be reused and reposted even after they have left the platform in the duration of time that they thought they were there. So we need to start looking at that. When our children start engaging on social, they're creating or consuming. There's something they really love to do, which is teaching videos. One of the things we need to start teaching them as a digital literacy skill is fact-checking, so that they're not part of the cogwheel of perpetrating misinformation, because it's a lot out there. Then we also need to start teaching our children on copyright, so that when they're creating content, they know how to stitch and how to ensure that they're giving the rights of the content to the person who needs to be given, because they can get into trouble And it is easier for them to know how to instead of putting out the fire when they already crossed that bridge. Then one other thing that we need to start having conversations around is consent. It is good that as they're creating content, it is fun and everything, but if there are other people on that frame, let them have consent. Let them also know that they are obligated to tell people who are taking videos or photos of them to seek their consent before posting anything on their online spaces, because their digital footprint can be created by them intentionally or by other people intentionally or unintentionally. So as a business, if Minet is out here to create awareness, to build capacity, and also to support children and parents in how to be safe online, and to really promote digital well-being. There are so many things that we do in the course of our business, and one of those things is helping parents to curate and customize agreements where when you want to give a child a phone or you want them to get onto a social media platform, we can agree on the modalities of going on these places, put it on an agreement so that everybody knows what is expected of them. We also have a lot of content on our website. We will post a link here so that you're able to go to our website if you're a parent, you're a guardian, or even an educator to know the kind of things that you can do. Please feel free to visit the frequently asked questions so that maybe you have a question that you'd love to ask and we have already responded to it on our website. We love to support children. We love to support those who are within their ecosystem to be able to be safe online and to promote their digital well-being. Let us go through the Microsoft Family Safety. Let us see how it works. You need to have logged into your Microsoft 365 and scroll down to Family Safety. It will log you into your family portal. From here, you are able to see that I am the family organizer since the year 2020. I have my daughter and my son who have accounts. My daughter is now 9, turning 10, so I will have a look at how her settings are and her time spending. So if you go to the settings, you'll be able to see Natasha's account has the following things: age rating. She's actually 9 now, but I will also change it again because she's turning 10. We have web safety on. We have ask to buy, and then we also have weekly emails because I need to be able to see what she has spent her time doing during the week. And then I have created for her a screen time schedule for the holiday, and she has autonomy to do screen from 7 to 10. However, we have a software that also bars her at certain times, but it's because of her schedule with chess and other stuff, so her screen is opened for that long. Then I'm able to again just navigate and see how her account works and the time that she's spending online. And she has no credits. She's not buying anything online so far, which is amazing. Let me see down here. You're able to check how you can do several things like tips on screen time, content filtering, time spent, and you have a guidance here where you can go through and see how to best create content filters. You can put certain URLs, certain key names of websites that you would not want your child to be able to access, which is really an amazing tool because if they access anything with a certain keyword, it is bad. So I have my son's account here, and also this will be able to show you how you can connect an account, his screen time, and then the apps that he's able to use here and there. And I love this tool, first because it is free. Second, it helps me to regulate my children's activities online through their own interests and also based on their ages. One of the things is that we have conversations around what kind of websites we are allowing to see, what we are not allowing to see, and also the reasons why. So most of our conversations are also value-based, which gives us an opportunity to also just keep throwing in some words here and there in terms of helping us understand what is good for us and what is not good for us. And so I would really encourage all of us to try and see if your child is using a Windows machine, please download Microsoft 365. This is not just for Windows machine because I'd actually like to say that my son uses a Mac and I have made this possible for him on his Macintosh. So it is important to know that you can still use it also on a Mac-based machine and a Windows-based machine. Thank you very much, and I hope you use this tool and it helps you to keep your child safe while on the internet. Bye-bye.